What's up, guys? That is the stupidest entrance. What's going on, guys? My name's Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty, and it's time for another 5 things. Today's topic, 5 things I yell at the football. But first, let's get into our gear. So of course I've got to be in character if I'm going to know what I yell at the football. So starting with the first one, let's get the obvious out of the way. And this is just going to count for all of the first one. We've got the obvious, you know the one I'm talking about. Ball! Come on, Dusty! Kick the goal! And then the more frustrating, kick it! Kick it, stop handballing it, kick the damn thing! So they're the first few that you sort of get out of the way as your general supporter. You've got your favourite player who you always know when they get the ball. Whenever your team's overusing the shit out of the ball, so you need to tell them to kick it. And what's the other one? The ball. Obviously holding the footy. You yell it regardless of whether you think you're going to get the decision. Depending on, the stance of the game. There are points in the game where you just need to yell just for the sake of yelling. That brings us to number 2, which are 2 that they're not uncommon, I would say, in the football stadiums of the world. The first one, of course, is when you believe a player on your team should deserve a high tackle as a reward for winning the football. Where's his head, umpire? Where's his head? So generally, you're speaking, you think they've got him in maybe a headlock or something. So you want to know where their bloody head is. Because clearly, the guy is tackling him somewhat in this region, and it's got to be a free kick. It's got to be a free... I hate when players just have, dudes in headlocks, and it's like, whatever, but it's not a free kick. It's a stupid decision. And the second part of this, where's his, is one that has crept into my vocals recently. It's probably a little more uncommon than the where's his head, maybe even into the rare territory of yells. And it is the new deliberate out of bounds is called insufficient intent. Of course, everyone, they get up and scream deliberate, but I like to scream, where's his intent? Because it just goes, it's like you want to know why it's not a free kick. Where is his intent? His intent is to go straight to the boundary line. You've got to ping him. But seriously, where is his intent? His intent is to get it over the boundary. You gotta ping him, and I want a bloody touchdown deliberate every day of the week. Thank you very much. Jeez, I had to hold my shoulder when I was doing that, otherwise I was gonna pop it out or something. The next one is a specialty of mine, I believe, which is generally directed towards the umpires, and the one after this will also be. So this is number 3 now. This is directed towards the umpires, or maybe even a player on my own team, or maybe even a player on the other team when they do something stupid, when they make a wrong decision, when it's a terrible handball, or a bad kick that they took off one step and really should have made the most of it. This is the phrase, "What are you doing, you bloody muppet?" So that's generally directed towards a player if they're fairly, if they've made a stupid decision. That's a player on my team, of course. If it's a player on the other team, you bloody muppet, you messed it all up. And then if I'm directing it towards the umpire, what are you doing, you bloody muppet? But yeah, basically, you need an ounce of frustration in it if it's towards your team. So it's, what are you doing? It's the whole, what are you doing? You bloody muppet. Now this one is solely directed towards the umpires, which is kind of a good and a bad thing. I'll give you the phrase and then I'll explain it. Oi! That is a Schmidt decision right there. A Schmidt decision. So of course I'm talking about umpire Justin Schmidt in this case. Play on a little bit of a pun here with his name, a Schmidt, because it is a Schmidt decision. And this one for me is sort of, I love saying it just because it works so well, because it's obviously the name of one of the umpires. But I actually reckon Schmidt is one of the best umpires in the AFL. I think his decision making is actually better than 99% of the other umpires. There may be one umpire that is better than him at actually making decisions. He makes no nonsense calls. He gets on with it quickly. He's a good bouncer of the football, Schmitty. I love your work, Schmitty. Well done, Schmitty. First of all, okay, secondly, it's generally an insult towards other umpires because they made a shit decision, alright? But in this case, I'm saying it is a Schmidt decision, but if it was a Schmidt decision, it probably would be the right decision, so maybe I'm using it in the wrong context. Point is, Schmidt decisions are made every week. If it's made by Schmitty, I say, well done, Schmitty. That's a great Schmidt call, and it... I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore, but I use it all the bloody time. but it's a Schmidt decision. Anytime a Schmidt decision is made, you know it's probably the right call. But if it's another umpire, you may as well just say, it's a decision. The final phrase I'm going to give you guys today for things that I yell at the football. Well, it's technically like the 10th thing or whatever, but this is number 5. And this is probably the one that is the most useful. The one that I use when the team needs it the most. When a player is struggling and needs the boost. When the team needs a huge lift and something amazing happens. You know what you gotta do? You gotta get around him! I mean, it's just the best phrase. Like, James Brayshaw, thank you very much for introducing this into my life. It's a phenomenal phrase, and it needs to be used at the precise moment. This is not a phrase I throw around willy-nilly whenever, it's necessary, whenever anything happens. If we just kick a goal, well done, well done. Maybe you give him a little get around him, well, get around him, get around him. But the get around him yell never happens unless it needs to happen. For example, last week, I was at the football at the Richmond-Geelong game. I used the get around him once and once only, when the team needed a lifting spirit. And I used it on a man who needed it at the time. His name was Bashar Houli. He had missed 2 set shots in separate quarters from 50-meter penalties. He's 30 out. Not much angle on these kicks. Not much at all. Missed both of those to the right-hand side. Very disappointing kicks at goal when we needed them at critical stages. But then when he took a mark shortly after missing that second shot inside the 50, 25-30 out directly in front, and he nailed that shot at goal, I brought it out and I said, get around him! Get around him! So, you can't just have a catchphrase at the football and then use it willy-nilly. It has to be at the correct moment. So, obviously, I gave Basher the get around him. He played a little better for the rest of the game, but, we still didn't get over the line. That's alright. Point is, I yell a lot at the football, and I've yelled a lot now, and it's already killing my voice. So, thank you guys for watching today's video. Let me know what you yell at the football, and maybe I'll make a video of your best answers. So, thank you guys for watching. Give a huge thumbs up. See you all later. Get around him.